Hello, welcome to another video where I talk a little bit about one of the CS50 courses that I've just recently completed. If you've not yet seen my other two videos, I suggest you watch them first because there's a bit more background information. So I'm up to my third course with this, and I'm not necessarily going through this in order of easiest to hardest. What happened with me is I dived in, did the introduction to programming with Python first because I wanted to do that, and then thought, I know what I'll do. I'll work my way through some of the other courses in the series and do some videos about them in addition to one about this. And I did this one because my wife was particularly interested in the contents of this one. So after I did the CS50 Understand Technology, which is the entry level one, then I did this one next, and I finished it. I recently got my results for the course and passed it, so that's why I wanted to do the video now. Literally the day before I'm filming this was when I got all my marks through and created my certificate. And that's something I want to talk up front. This is all done through edX initially, but it interacts, as you'll see, with a Harvard component because it's delivered by HarvardX. So they do all the work in terms of the lectures and the assignments, all that sort of stuff. But it's delivered through the edX platform. Now, what I did with these, and I've been doing so far, is I've registered for the free one on edX. But what's cool is once you start getting into the HarvardX portal, there's a facility in there once you finish the course to generate a free certificate, and I'll show you where that is. Anyway, let's just go through this, talk a little bit, as I've done in the other episodes, what to sort of expect in terms of what they cover. So there are 6 units to this: computational thinking, programming languages, internet technologies, web development, technology stacks, cloud computing. At the end of this, I'm also going to compare the CS50B, which is what this is often called, the CS50 Business, versus the CS50T, because there are some commonalities here between the two courses, and I'll explain what they are. So I just picked the computational thinking because that's the first session of the course. So this looks pretty simple. You just have, the lecture link, notes, slides, subtitles, transcript, more, and the assignment. You can next through these and it will just take you through chronologically. So you get this bit, and then this is simply the video. So it's the same as the other video pretty much. Although I do find that on this particular one, you get one of these, and I can't remember what it is, you come up with an access error. So I'll show you how I normally navigate through all of this once I've gone through one of these. So normally I use something like the lecture or whatever to get into the HarvardX side of things, and the two are synced together, so it sort of knows your course through the program. And then I basically navigate through this. So if you navigate through this part, all of those additional links are down here under this expand watch list. So we've got notes, slides, subtitle, transcript, and the assignment. And I think I've mentioned before, what I normally do with this is I have the video in the middle, and then I've got 3 screens. So I have the notes on one side and then the assignment on the other. Now this time round, because I was super familiar with everything, I'm not going in as a complete novice here, but also having done the CS50T and there was commonalities here, I went through this pretty quick. I wasn't quite doing 2 whatever you call these, 2 sessions a day, but it was pretty close. I did it over 3 days and then finished off on the 4th day, Friday afternoon. So that's working from about 11 in the morning till 4 or 5 in the afternoon. I think on the first day, on the Tuesday, I slacked off a bit because I'd been filming the previous day. So yeah, but yeah, it you know, each of these videos is about an hour long. The assignment normally takes me about an hour, but longer for the programming and the web design, which we'll come on to in a moment. So yeah, once you're in here, it's pretty easy to navigate around. You can then get into the assignment. The assignments are all done through, well, the submissions are done through Google Docs. So you log in through to Google Docs. So firstly, you have to have a Google account, as I mentioned in previous episodes. There's a couple other accounts you need to have to do this, which I'll come on to in a moment. So yeah, just basically 10 questions, a point for each. You just go through, answer them. And then, yeah, week 2, programming languages. Same thing, if you're doing it from here. The layout's slightly different for those, in that for one of the questions, which is worth 4 points, you submit your URL to your program, which you using Scratch on the MIT Scratch website. And so obviously you have to have an account to do that. Because I'd already done the technology course, when we used Scratch on that, I already had a MIT account to do that. So didn't really, to do all this, I didn't need to set anything new up. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so far, if you'd gone into this cold, you'd have to have a edX account. You would have to have a Scratch account, some sort of Google account, so you can submit Google Docs. And when you get onto the programming unit, the web design unit, you will also need a Replit account as well. Again, I had that already. So yeah, so Replit on top of that. And again, down here, there's something where you put in the URL for your website on Replit. Now, you know, if you are doing this, make sure you follow the instructions here. There's all sorts of do's and don'ts in terms of things you're not supposed to activate because it interferes with the assessment. At least that's my understanding. I find the instructions generally really easy to follow. There was I think, I'm not sure on Replit, it might have been on Scratch. I had to poke around a little bit to find one of the areas they were talking about. Yeah. In terms of, finding out where you put the instructions and where you put the title, those sort of things. Just checking you've got notes in there and that sort of stuff. But yeah, once you sort of navigate your way around the Scratch website, it's fairly easy to find out where they're talking about. It's just, I think they've moved a little bit as a lot of things over time. So I thought it'd be useful just to compare the CS50B with the CS50T. So in terms of difficulty, I would say they're about the same. In terms of what they contain, so there's the CS50B, which is the one that I've just done. So computational thinking, programming languages, internet technologies, web development, technology stacks, and cloud computing. So what you'll notice when I flick over here, I'll sort of already say that these two are, I wouldn't say pretty close to identical, pretty much identical as the units on the CS50T. Computational thinking and internet technologies has some overlap with other units on the course, on the CS50T, but it's not identical. And then these two are unique to this course. The other thing is, although these two are pretty much identical in the content, One of them, I think it was the web development one, has a little bit more tact on the end. Goes down a bit more of a like a dynamic website rabbit hole, although you're not really tested on that as such on the assignment. But what's interesting is the assignment spec is identical. So the assignment spec for the programming languages course is identical at the moment for CS50B and T, and the same is true of web development, identical between the two units. However, the questions that are in there, some are the same, but quite a few are slightly different or differently worded or asking you for a slightly different thing under the same theme. Let's just switch to the CS50T here, so you can see there's web development and programming. So you switch off with those, you finish off with those, so they're identical. The unique ones on this course are multimedia and security. And then the hardware and the internet units have some degree of overlapping between the computational thinking and the internet technologies, but not totally. And it asks slightly different questions as well there, where there is some commonality there. Yeah, so just to recap, there is what do you call it? There is common components. So the web development and programming components are the same on both, pretty much, or near to identical. And then the internet and multimedia ones on this course, and the internet and computational thinking have a good degree of overlap. And then technology stacks, cloud computing, and you can see here security and multimedia are completely different. Okay, so this here, what you'll notice with this is there's a section up the top there, and that's where you get access to this, which is the gradebook. And so this is on Harvard. And so all the time you're doing submissions to Google Docs, this is where your results will appear once they get around to marking them. Now, I started the course on a Tuesday, finished the last component on the Friday afternoon, and by Tuesday of the following week I had all my results. And this will fill in. And by the time I got here, it had already filled in. They were marked, because I submitted them in quick succession, they were marked really quickly, even quicker than I submitted them in terms of the order, in that the mark came through all on the same day, whereas I'd submitted like one or two per day for like over 4 days. As opposed to this, which just gets filled in as you motion through the course. So this really just tells you where you've got to in terms of what you've watched. This actually tells you what your final score is. Now, once you're in here, there's a link here. It's difficult to spot. So my point is, there's a link at the top of the assignments to get into the gradebook. And then there's a link at the top of the gradebook to get into the certificate once it says you can generate it. I've already generated mine, so it's just added it to this. When you first come in here, you'll see it'll have a link. So it says click here to type in your name as you want it to appear on the certificate. And then once you do that, it changes to this. Certificate comes up, you can save the certificate. You can go back in and you can see they're the ones I've done already. and the date that they were generated. Yeah, so another very interesting course. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it's been fun just going through. Obviously, I really didn't need to do both of these. I mean, you can, because there, like I said, there are components which are not the same. But really, just based on what you're biased towards, I suppose. If you're more interested in learning a little bit about cloud computing, now of course that stuff again is very top level. There's not much, obviously it's very hands-on with the web design and the programming, but with the other stuff, it's quite high-level stuff. But yeah, some useful things in there, and I enjoyed learning about those things. The other thing I want to bring up, just to wrap this up, where is it? Yeah. So I took, when I signed up for the second course, it flashed up with a list of all the other courses, and this list basically, which I've modified. So I took their original list and started appending it, like the amount of time everything takes. So everything here is their original wording. I've reorganized this in the order that I want to do everything, and then I've added in square brackets the estimated time that they say on the edX website for each of the courses. And the ones that I've already ticked are the ones I've already done. So my plan is to actually do the CS50, I think it's now called CS50X, next, then do the AI one, which is looks like it's the most intense in terms of the amount of hours per week. You get quite a generous time frame to do all this stuff for these courses as well. I would say from what I've done so far, the CS50T and the B are about the same level of difficulty. This one, the Python one, is a lot harder if you've done no programming at all, or very little. The more programming you've done, obviously the easier this gets to do. And I didn't find it particularly difficult, but it was quite time consuming, because there was lots of things that I hadn't done for a while or hadn't done in that order, and things like when we got onto the regex one, when I did that course, but the programming components that I did for the one recently and the web design are a lot easier than anything, than the combined stuff in this one. It's broken down into smaller pieces, this one, whereas this one, the projects are like one project, although obviously it'll have components in it and they'll say what you've got to do, but the way that you submitted stuff, when you compare this and this course to this one, were quite different between the two. And this one was also instantaneous, the feedback, basically, because of the way the programming was assessed on that. Or the marks were instantaneous, shall I say. But yeah, watch my video about that one if you really want to know. I was trying to avoid going back down the well-trodden path, but yeah, it's difficult when you're mentioning different programs, the differences between them. It's hard not to do that, but yeah, watch the other two videos I did for more information about this. So now I'm here and just finished this and talking about it in this video. As I said, my plan is to go through and I've done SQL in the past, so that'll be interesting. I'm curious because this one, mainly because these were mentioned in overview on the technology course. Sorry, the business. Sorry, getting my mind up myself. Sorry, the business course, CS50B. So yeah. again here, I mean, done Python before, JavaScript, SQL, but I'm curious as to what frameworks might come up, or how they appear in the course. And then I thought, well, it never hurts to try out another cybersecurity course. I've got a few ones I've done over the years. So right from very simple sort of, ones about viruses and malware to slightly more involved ones. And then I've elected at the moment not to really pursue these. There's one specifically on Scratch, if you wanted to play around more with that. There's a CS50 Law, which is a one for lawyers version, I'm assuming, of this, which I might just take a look at to see what, how it differs from, say, here, this one and this one. But I'm not in any particular hurry to do that. And I don't know if I want to do the games one or not. Probably not. So that's why they're not indented. So everything that's indented I've either done or I'm intending on doing. So there we have it. Hopefully that was of use if you're thinking about either doing this course or something similar, or one of the other ones. Gives you a little bit of an idea. But I'm going to carry on now, and the next time I do a video about this is when I hopefully have done and completed this one. I suspect it's going to take me slightly longer, so that video might not be forthcoming until, well into December, even the new year, I suspect, because I'm going to slow roll this one a little bit more. These ones I did hammer on through, and I've been doing a week on studying and then a week off. So these two I did over the course of a week, and then the following week I did some other projects. This one took several weeks to complete. I think it was at least 2, but I did durdle around a little bit for that one, and took my time because I wanted to go down. And that's the thing, if you want to go down a few rabbit holes in addition to what's required, then obviously it's going to take you longer. And I always strongly advise that, having worked in education myself, being a lecturer at what you call in North America community college, I'm always an advocate for, where you can, going beyond just what's required. I know sometimes time, restrictions means that you do have to adopt a business approach to things, and pick your targets, and go for the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. And sometimes it is a case where you can only do, the amounts to pass. And I've certainly had that with courses when I was doing stuff alongside work and other courses. I've had to be really get into that whole area of alternative costs and just decide, I'd already given up my social life, and so then there's, what else do you give up? You can't give up work, because that's paying the bills. So you have to sort of make some educated decisions about what parts of the course you're going to study more than others, and what's going to come up on the exam, and all that sort of stuff. Generally, whenever I was doing stuff through the Open University, I was committed 100% to the assignments, and then with the exams, I went down the sort of past paper look and try and sort of hedge my bets a little bit on there. But yeah, all my assignments I'd commit 100%. There was one occasion in the course of that course when I was doing my postgrad where I did drop an assignment because I just physically couldn't complete it because I was competing with another course. After that experience, I never tried to attempt to open university courses simultaneously. So you live and learn. But with these, there's a nice wide time frame, so you can certainly take your time. And unless you're desperate to get these for, to put on a CV, then I would say don't do what I've done and just rush through them, because it was primarily to see what they were like, and it's stuff I've done already. But yeah, if you're new to it, take your time, explore some of the back roads a little bit, watch the videos multiple times, and enjoy yourself, really. I find if you're not enjoying a course, then you need to take a serious look at it, particularly if it's a long one. Sometimes you've got no choice because you're invested and you're not going to get your money back. But with this, they're free. Like if you do the route I did, they're free. Certificate's free if you go through the HarvardX component. So, it's only time. That's the only thing. So, yeah, I have no complaints about these. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now. And I will catch you in a future episode.